Okay, so everyone's saying data is the new oil these days, but
Yeah.
what does that even mean for us? And where does crypto fit in? We're diving into some text that someone sent us that lays out a pretty bold vision
It is a bold vision.
of the future.
Yeah, what's interesting here is the analogy goes beyond just saying data is valuable.
Right.
It's saying data is what drives the digital economy.
Hmm.
Like oil fueled the Industrial Revolution.
That's a powerful comparison.
Yeah.
When you think about how much data we generate every day, it's kind of mind-blowing.
Every time you use your phone
Yeah.
or browse the internet
Mm-hmm.
or even just walk down the street, you're creating data.
That's true.
All that data needs to be stored and processed somewhere.
Right.
And that's where the demand comes in.
And that demand's only going to increase,
Yeah.
right, as technology keeps advancing.
Absolutely. And that's where the source we're looking at gets really interesting. It talks about the XRP ledger and how it could revolutionize the way we handle all of this digital oil.
Okay, so the XRP ledger. Can you break that down for me? What is it, and why is it so important in this data world?
The XRP ledger is a blockchain technology specifically designed for fast and efficient transactions,
Okay.
like a digital highway,
Okay.
built to move information quickly and securely.
So it's not just about storing data, it's about moving it and actually being able to use it.
Exactly. That's where the concept of tokenization comes in. Imagine taking a real-world asset, like a piece of real estate or shares in a company, and representing it as a digital token on the XRP ledger.
Oh, so instead of having like a physical stock certificate, you'd have a digital token that represents your ownership.
Exactly. And because it's on a blockchain, it can be traded and transferred much more efficiently than traditional assets.
So this sounds like it could completely change how we invest and do business.
Absolutely. And the source even gives us a real-world example. A billion-dollar data center equity fund was recently tokenized on the XRP ledger.
Wow, $1 billion. That's a serious investment. What does that tell us about how this is actually being used?
This isn't just theoretical. This is happening right now.
Right.
Big players are seeing the potential of tokenization on the XRP ledger.
And it makes you wonder, like, if $1 billion data center is on the XRP ledger, what else could we see tokenized?
The possibilities are almost limitless. The source talks about real estate and debt instruments, even currencies being tokenized.
It's mind-blowing to think about how this could change things.
At the heart of this whole ecosystem is XRP, the native cryptocurrency of the XRP ledger.
Okay, so we've got data as the new oil, the XRP ledger, as this super efficient highway for digital assets, and now we're bringing in XRP. What role does XRP play in all of this?
XRP facilitates transactions on the XRP ledger. It's used for transaction fees and auto-bridging, which basically means moving assets between different blockchains.
So if I wanted to move a tokenized asset from one blockchain to the XRP ledger, XRP would help with that.
Exactly. Think of it as the bridge that connects the different parts of the digital asset world.
That makes sense. And is there anything else about XRP that makes it unique or valuable?
Well, XRP is designed to be deflationary. Its supply is limited, and some of it is destroyed with every transaction.
Wait, destroyed? How does that work?
A tiny fraction of XRP is burned or permanently removed from circulation with each transaction on the ledger. This creates scarcity and potentially increases its value over time.
So in a world where we're seeing inflation everywhere, XRP is designed to do the opposite.
That's the idea. And that's why some people believe XRP could become a sort of digital gold, a safe haven asset in a world of volatile currencies.
So let me try to summarize. We've got data is the new essential resource. We've got the XRP ledger enabling this new way of investing and doing business through tokenization. And we've got XRP playing this key role, facilitating all of it, acting as a bridge, and potentially even becoming a store of value like digital gold. Did I get all that right?
You got it. But remember, this is about more than just these technologies working together. This is a fundamental shift in the financial landscape as we know it.
It sounds like we're on the cusp of something massive. And the source is clearly excited about the potential. It talks about building careers and long-term wealth around these new technologies, even envisioning a different world by 2035.
A different world by 2035 where blockchain and tokenization are mainstream.
Exactly.
It's an exciting vision.
It is. But as with any new technology, we need to be aware of the risks and challenges as well as the opportunities.
You're absolutely right. And that's what we'll be getting into in the next part of our deep dive. We'll look at those potential downsides and challenges and what to consider before jumping in. So this vision of the future, it's exciting, but we also need to be cautious. There are risks and challenges that come with any new market, especially crypto.
Right. It's easy to get caught up in the hype.
Well, one of the big ones is volatility.
Mhm.
Crypto prices can fluctuate wildly.
Yeah. We've all seen the headlines.
It's a market that can move really fast,
Mm-hmm.
and that can be risky.
Yeah. So it's not just about the technology itself, but also about understanding the market.
Exactly. Another thing is regulation. Governments are still figuring out how to approach crypto and blockchain. There's a lot of uncertainty there.
So regulations could change, which could impact investments.
It's a possibility. Investors need to be aware of that. Then there are concerns about security and scams. We've seen hacking and fraud in the crypto world.
Right. So a lot of potential upside, but some very real risks too.
Absolutely. That's why a balanced approach is so important. Excitement is great, but it needs to be tempered with caution, research, and a long-term perspective.
So not get-rich-quick schemes.
Right.
We're talking about understanding a fundamental shift in technology.
Exactly. A long-term perspective is what the source really emphasizes. It's not about buying and selling tokens. It's about building careers and businesses around this technology, becoming what the source calls career investors.
Career investors. I like that.
Yeah.
It implies a deeper level of commitment.
Exactly. And the source takes it even further. It's not just being a passive investor. It's about actively participating in this new ecosystem by building businesses around this market-making infrastructure.
Building businesses around market-making infrastructure. That sounds pretty technical. What does that actually mean?
Think of it this way. As more assets are tokenized and traded on platforms like the XRP ledger,
Yeah.
there's going to be a growing need for services that support this new financial system.
Okay.
Services that help ensure smooth and efficient trading.
So instead of just investing in tokenized assets, you could build a business that supports the trades themselves.
Precisely. Providing liquidity to the market, developing new financial instruments, offering secure ways to exchange these tokenized assets.
So like the whole ecosystem around stock markets, brokers, exchanges, analysts, but for this new tokenized world.
Exactly. And the source argues that's where the real opportunity is. Not just passively investing, but building the infrastructure that this new economy will depend on.
It's like the early days of the internet, building the businesses that would support this whole new way of doing things.
It's a great analogy. And just like those early internet pioneers, the ones building the infrastructure for this tokenized economy are likely to be the ones who benefit most in the long run. But beyond the financial opportunities, the source highlights something I find really compelling: the potential for this technology to drive positive social change.
Yeah, the source mentions creating a more equitable financial system.
Yeah.
How could tokenization on the XRP ledger actually do that?
One of the biggest barriers to traditional investing is access. You need a certain amount of capital to get started.
Right.
But with tokenization, assets can be divided into much smaller units,
Okay.
making it possible for people with less capital to invest.
So someone could buy a fraction of a share in a company rather than the whole thing.
Exactly. And because these transactions happen on a global blockchain, it opens up opportunities for people in developing countries who may have limited access to traditional banks.
So giving people all over the world access to investments that were previously out of reach.
And it's not just about access to investments. The source also talks about how tokenization could streamline cross-border payments and remittances,
Right.
making it easier and cheaper to send money internationally.
That could be huge for families who rely on remittances.
Absolutely. And all of this ties into the source's emphasis on financial literacy. It's not enough to just provide access to these tools.
Right.
People need to understand how to use them.
It's about empowering people to take control of their own financial futures.
Exactly. And that's what's so exciting about this space. It's not just about making money. It's about creating a more inclusive system that benefits everyone.
It is inspiring to think about the potential for positive change. But it feels like we've only just scratched the surface.
We have. There's so much more to explore.
We've covered so much, but I feel like there's still so much more to uncover.
Oh, there always is. That's what makes this so fascinating. Always something new to learn.
Before we go too far, though, let's go back to the source for a second. The author's super optimistic, but are there any downsides or challenges that they don't mention?
That's the key question. No system is perfect. Like you said, we got to think critically. One thing the source doesn't really get into is regulation. Governments are still figuring out crypto and blockchain.
Yeah.
And that uncertainty could create some roadblocks.
Makes me think how technology changes so fast, and regulations can be slow to catch up.
Exactly.
Could that stifle innovation?
It's possible. And even if the technology is perfect, there's the human element.
Right.
Could this new system be vulnerable to scams or manipulation? We've seen it in traditional finance.
That's like we're building a better future, but also have to be aware of human nature.
Exactly. Another thing is accessibility. The source talks about opening up investment opportunities. But does everyone have the resources to participate equally? Internet access, tech savvy.
It's like we could create this amazing system, but accidentally leave people behind.
Right. We need to be mindful of a new kind of digital divide.
So for our listener who's been with us on this deep dive, what's the big takeaway? What should they be thinking about?
I think the key is we're on the edge of a huge shift in how value works. It's exciting, but it needs awareness and education. Don't jump in blindly.
Right.
Do your research, understand the risks, and think about how these trends could impact your life, your career, your investments.
I love that. Be an active participant, not just watching from the sidelines.
Exactly. We all have a role to play in shaping this.
Couldn't agree more. So to our listener, keep that curiosity, keep learning, keep asking questions. This is just the beginning, and we're all in this together. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.